students who play sports every year.
With the increasing level of competition, injuries are becoming more prevalent and more dangerous.
The worst of these injuries are head injuries. These injuries affect every level of sports, from little leagues to the pros.
Long-term effects of head injuries can be devastating, but there are institutions that are taking steps to prevent such injuries.
Okay, a concussion is translated from the Latin, and whenever it's translated it means to shake violently. So your brain is shaking violently inside your dome piece, and basically what it turns out to be is a brain bruise. So whenever you think about getting a bruise on your arm or your leg, and especially if it's on a joint, it can be very debilitating. So whenever you think about that on your brain, it does the same thing when you're trying to think, when you're trying to focus, trying to concentrate. You can't do the things as effectively as you could if you did not have a concussion.
Softball and baseball are responsible for the highest rate of sporting fatalities in the United States for children from 5 to 14 years. Little league parks just like this one right here, everywhere across the United States, 88 deaths were recorded from the years 1973 to 1995. 88 deaths doesn't seem like a lot, but that's 88 mothers that were left without their children because of a simple head injury that could have been prevented. In the 2005-2006 school year, there was a study conducted on the rate of concussions of high school sports. In boys sports, the highest one was soccer with 15.6% of all injuries being concussions. The next one was football with 12%, and then following was baseball with 7.5%. In girls sports, the highest one was basketball with 19% of all sports injuries being concussions. After that is soccer with 18.8%. After that will be volleyball with 1.5%.
What are the long-term effects of concussions?
There really isn't a ton of results. What we do know is that it can possibly lead to an early onset of dementia. It can lead to migraines for the rest of your life. If anybody's ever had a migraine, it's very tough to deal with. Even hearing and vision problems, but there's really no conclusive evidence on what it leads to long-term effects. They're really only about 3 to 5 years into their research. They really want to get results for about 10 to 20 years down the road.
Concussions are one of, if not the most common types of injuries that occur in sports today. A reason for this is that the brain itself is so sensitive. Even the slightest bump to the head can cause damaging effects and result in a puzzling interplay of behavioral, cognitive, and emotional discomforts. Research shows that at least 60% of concussion patients suffer from post-concussion syndrome and also suffer from headache, migraine, and nausea. When left undiagnosed, concussions can lead to lifetime cases of amnesia and also early dementia.
George Beisker, a retired 49ers lineman, has been living his life out like the movie The 51st States. In the movie, a girl is involved in a very serious car accident, where now every morning when she wakes up, she doesn't remember anything that happened after the accident, but she remembers everything before. So in order to help her, her friends and her family create a video about what happened that day of the accident and kind of some things that have happened the days after the accident so she can help remember. Every day, George Beisker has to write down on yellow note cards what exactly he did that day. For example, he might have to write, at 10 o'clock he went to the store. At 10:05 he bought some bread. At 10:10 he bought some milk. At 10:20 he checked out, and at 10:30 he left the store. Since 1982, George's memory has been fading more and more each day. During one of his football games, he received a major blow to the head from a tackle, which caused him to go into a deep concussion, almost killing him. He has had what he recalls maybe hundreds, even thousands of concussions. George is just of many NFL players that have had concussion symptoms, such as sudden and frightening bouts of rage, depression, and memory loss.
The NFL is another institution taking steps to prevent head injuries. They have instituted several new rules and punishments designed to deter their players from making illegal helmet-to-helmet hits. One such rule says that any defenseless quarterback or wide receiver cannot be struck to the head by a defender. Any defender that makes such a play will be penalized by a 15-yard penalty. Individuals can also be punished off the field through fines and suspensions. Any individual who makes an excessively violent hit to the head of an opponent can and will be suspended without pay upon the first offense. Levelland High School is also taking initiative on preventing head injuries. Here I have a 5-page paper titled The Concussion Management Policy, which outlines the treatment that must be done on any player who receives a concussion before he or she is allowed to participate in athletic competitions again. High school baseball is another institution taking initiative on head injuries. The National Federation of State High School Associations has mandated the use of a modified bat. This bat, called BB Core, responds more closely to wooden bats than its predecessor, BESR. This means that it is not able to hit the ball near as hard, which increases fielder reaction time, thus reducing the likelihood of players being struck in the head by a batted ball.
As sports become more popular and more available, it is likely that the percentage of head injuries will continue to increase.
Stronger, faster, and larger athletes will emerge. More strict guidelines must and will be taken to put an end to the lethal injuries.
Leagues of all ages in sports have taken steps to prevent such injuries.
Only time will tell the future of our sports injuries.
Did we really do it?
Yeah. Your dome piece. Your dome piece. Your dome piece.
This is it right here.
This one! Take 48! Right here! Right now!
I'm really getting tired of these words.
Your dome piece. Your dome piece.
Words of help to win. He groveled so deep, let us could never express.